Hey, Shalom to my Akim wa Akwathim and Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. You know, what we should be doing right now is keeping an eye on what's going on in the Middle East. Granted, we got this COVID-19 shutting things down here in Babylon, America, and it's beautiful, nonetheless, because it's giving validation to the prophecies that's written. We see Ecclesiastes chapter 12 coming into fruition, man. The doors are going to be closed in these streets real soon. It's going to be quarantine, lockdowns, National Guard on these streets, tanks on these streets. It's about to get real ugly out here, man. But nonetheless, this is just the beginning of sorrows. We also need to be expecting a famine. We see the storehouses suddenly being found empty, pertaining to Second Ezra's, I believe the 6th chapter. May be wrong, but nonetheless, man, these words are speaking. Part in the AC unit that just cut on. I'm out back in the backyard, just going over some articles being circumspect. And as we know, Iraq, these Iranian-backed militias, Salakia, these Iranian-backed militias did a rocket strike in Baghdad and killed 3 servicemen, 2 of them being American troops. And earlier this week, Babylon America responded by doing some retaliatory missile strikes over there in Iraq. And damn, I think it's loud, man. But nonetheless, yesterday, there had been retaliatory strikes from these Iranian-backed militias once again. So we're starting to see a tit for tat thing going on, and we need to keep our eyes on this, because not only is this COVID plague going to be consuming this nation, but also famine and also war. So this war is about to break out. Baghdad, a barrage of rockets hit a base housing U.S. and other coalition troops north of Baghdad, Iraq. Security officials said Saturday, just days after a similar attack killed 3 servicemen, including 2 Americans. There was no immediate word on casualties at Camp Taji, according to the officials, who spoke on condition of anonymity in line with regulations. The officials said over a dozen rockets landed inside the base. Some struck the coalition quarters, while others fell on the runway used by Iraqi forces. The attack was unusual because it occurred during the day. Previous assaults on military bases housing U.S. troops typically occurred overnight. So these Iranian-backed militias are going hard, man. They're not caring. And just to be circumspect, man, these nations see the weakening state of Babylon America, man. They see Babylon America being brought to its knees due to this virus plague. The plagues draw nigh, they're not slack. No longer do they draw nigh, they are here, man. So we know the rest of this prophecy is going to unfold. And if we be circumspect, we also know that our new year, the month of Abib, is slowly approaching. I believe it's about a week away. Between March 18th and the 20th, somewhere between them days falls our new year, So and then a week from that is our Pesach, man, which is our Passover, So as we see, as through the Hebrew calendar, man, through these times that as we get closer to the Passover, man, these plagues are increasing on the earth. The Lord is visiting this place. Yahweh Shai is visiting this place, man, and we see it. So be circumspect. We see that this war is about to pop off. Expect it, and we got to stay circumspect, stay covered, stay in the spirit, and know that this is going down, man. But let me just read a little bit more of this article. The earlier attack against Camp Taji on Wednesday prompted American airstrikes Friday against what U.S. officials said were mainly weapons facilities belonging to Kataib Hezbollah, the Iran-backed militia group believed to be responsible. However, Iraq's military said those airstrikes killed 5 security force members and a civilian. Man, America has been real reckless, man. Very reckless. They're just bombing any and everything, and obviously don't get their facts straight, because it's a lot of casualties that are civilian and innocent casualties that have nothing to do with it. And Iraq wants both Iran and the United States out of their region. You see, but after what's his name, Samanali was killed, might have mispronounced it, but after the Iranian leader was killed, man, things kind of died down. Then this virus picked up in Moab, in the land of Moab, in China, over there in Asia, man. And now we see it start to pick back up. If you're paying attention, in the man of the Lord, we're supposed to be on the watchtower, being circumspect and revelating what we're seeing, man, to the people, so that the blood don't be in our hands. So stay circumspect, man. Don't get distracted, because this is the beginning of sorrows. A lot more is coming down the line, including war. It's prophesied. This has to happen. The gates of Babylon will lament and mourn, man. There's going to be loss of children and loss of men. Men will be made few upon the earth, man. And the fire is about to be often sent out. And these fires are going to be these missiles smacking this land. And I've been telling y'all this, man. These missiles and these arrows are about to come through, to Babylon, man. And it's going to bring these cities down. These cities are going to be brought down very soon. Okay, now let's continue. And we're under a national emergency. And that's another thing. Donald Trump just declared a national emergency, which unlocks a lot of presidential power. In a whole different barrage of laws, to where essentially your constitutional rights are pretty much vulnerable right now, and they're going to be stripping away. So they might be using this COVID-19 just to be circumspect, man. They might be using this COVID-19 Salakia just to declare this national emergency, just to bring in a false flag to shut it all down indefinitely, man. But let's continue. However, Iraq's military said those airstrikes killed 5 security force members and a civilian. Iran-backed Shiite militia groups vowed to exact revenge for Friday's U.S. airstrikes, signaling another cycle of tit-for-tat violence between Washington and Tehran that could play out inside Iraq. And that's over there in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, man. So the Lord is still cranking it up. Don't get lulled to sleep. Now's not the time to slumber, man. Wednesday's attack on Camp Taji was the deadliest to target U.S. troops in Iraq since a late December rocket attack on an Iraq base that killed a U.S. contractor and set in motion a series of attacks that brought Iraq to the brink of war, which this happened last year. I don't know if you remember that. After the contractor was killed, American airstrikes targeting the Kataib Hezbollah led to protests in the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. Y'all remember that towards the end of last year? When they went down in the U.S. Embassy and was going off trying to get Americans out of there, man. These countries don't want the U.S. in their land, and for highly understandable reasons. But it's all going to play out because all the nations are going to be gathered down there in Iraq. So Iraq might as well go ahead and get ready to roll out the red carpet, because that area and that region is about to get real hot. The U.S. drone strike in Baghdad then killed Iranian General Salameli, a top commander responsible for expeditionary operations across the wider Mideast. Iran struck back with a ballistic missile attack on U.S. forces in Iraq, the Islamic Republic's most direct assault on America since 1979, seizing the U.S. embassy in Tehran. The U.S. and Iran stepped back from further attacks after the Samanali incident. And really, it was around that time of that incident, but really what made Iran and U.S. calm down is because, I don't know if y'all remember, some innocent plane passengers, a plane got brought down because of that. They tried to blame it on Boeing, but it came out that Iran missile defense system had brought down that plane. You understand? And understandably so, because they thought it was American. And it killed a lot of people, man. It killed everybody on that plane. And that's when it calmed down, because of the innocent KIAs, man. Some people was killed in action that had nothing to do with it. And that's when it calmed down. Okay, but as you see, the Lord is cranking up that war spirit all over again. A senior U.S. official said in late January, when U.S.-Iran tensions had cooled, that the killing of Americans constituted a red line that could spark more violence. So as you see, man, these Medes, these Iranian-backed, the Iranians are the Medes, man, but these Medes, the Persians, man, they're not caring about what the U.S. can do, man. No one's really caring about it. They don't fear this nation no more, man. It's tit for tat right now. There's going to continue to be tit for tat till all our war breaks out. And this time around, the virgin soil of the Babylon America is going to get popped, man. Virgin America is going to get a cherry popped, man. And that war is going to be in the Valley of Jehoshaphat. But these missiles are definitely going to bring down Babylon, man. And all the nations are going to let loose on this place. This place is being brought to its knees, being weakened. It's being weakened here, man. But I just wanted to be circumspect and go ahead and get that out, man. Stepping back in the house with the kids, had them eating their breakfast and whatnot. But I pray it was edifying, man. I just want you brothers to keep an eye on it, you know, and we continue to be circumspect, man. You know, we live in beautiful times, okay? But shalom till next time.